the base, the desperation in the crowds, families holding their paperwork, their small children, flooding the roadways, trying to reach the gates of the airport, the gunfire, some still waiting and aware the Taliban still controls these checkpoints.
It's no longer news that Afghanistan, one of the poorest nations of the world, has fallen and now ruled by a murdering gang of terrorists. The pathetic scenes of chaos as desperate men and women, families, struggle to fly out of Kabul before the Taliban take over fully. The American president is getting a bad rap for pulling out, even though the US government had long announced a phased troop withdrawal. If America the Great has spent $83 billion in a 20-year period equipping and training over 180,000 Afghan troops, how did the Taliban of less than 120,000 people overrun them so fast, and in some cases without a shot being fired? For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. I started by saying that Afghanistan is one of the poorest countries in the world, but it will surprise you to know that buried within that country are trillions of dollars worth of rare minerals and precious metals that the world desperately needs. Geologists say Afghanistan is home to one of the world's biggest deposits of lithium, an essential but scarce component in rechargeable batteries and other technologies vital to tackling the climate crisis. As the world switches to electric cars and other cleaner technologies, lithium and cobalt are the oil of the future. How does the story of Afghanistan concern you? Many will wonder as they listen to me. You are Afghanistan. We are all Afghanistan. Just the way America sacrificed the lives of US servicemen and used its military might to defend Afghanistan, so also has God sacrificed his only Son so that you and I may live. Like Afghanistan, people might have considered you poor and of no consequence, but you have value. You are full of precious stones that the world needs. So God has sent his Son to die for you. He sent him to shore up your defenses, to fight for you, to let you know you have a future. The Taliban is against this and has been trying to rule you. They are focused and relentless and never give up. They know your soft spots, your weaknesses, your underbelly, your past, your story, and they will keep on attacking until they succeed. The Taliban are the sins that so easily beset us, the lusts of this world and our addictions. It is everything that seeks to control us, distract us, and derail us from God's plan for us. God promised mankind a second chance through the resurrection of his Son, Yehoshua. This second chance is what the enemy seeks to stop and destroy. How did Afghanistan fall so fast, even though America gave enough warning? How will we miss eternity even though God has long warned us? How did the superior American military might not defeat the Taliban? How did God's power not defeat sin? America did defeat the Taliban. God defeated Satan and sin. The Afghans only had to claim the victory, but they didn't. Do you know what they did? They were romancing with the Taliban. After all, we are all one, they said. They were romancing with drugs. After all, I can stop at any time. They were romancing with drinks. After all, it is just a glass a day. They were romancing with TikTok. After all, it is just 30 minutes of my time. They were romancing with hatred. After all, they also hate me. They were romancing with foreign terrorist headsmen. After all, let them just help us win elections. They were romancing with bribes. After all, everyone does it. They were romancing with the opposite sex. After all die are die. This is how the Afghans invited the Taliban in. This is how we invited sin in. Then one day the Americans pulled out. Then one day the trumpet blows. Then one day life ends suddenly. And one day, it is too late. The few who could leave the Americans left. The few who could escape escaped. The few who could get on that transport plane trembled at the fate that would befall those they left behind. They couldn't help brother, sister, father, mother, son, or daughter. They had probably warned them. Let's head to the airport now. Let's leave Kabul now. Let's leave sin now. Then suddenly, it happened, and it happened fast. They thought they had a few more weeks, a few more days, a few more hours, but it happened so fast. Kabul fell when the world least expected it. Then China steps out from nowhere to embrace the Taliban and take over the precious metals. Then Satan will take those left behind to join him for destruction. Dearly beloved, we really don't have the time we think we have. This trumpet will sound when you least expect it. This life will end when you didn't plan for it. Is your name written in the Lamb's Book of Life? Are you going to be part of the resurrection? This is all that matters. This is why God sacrificed Jesus Christ. This is why he defeated Satan and made a show of him. You can't keep on romancing with the Taliban and expect that Kabul won't fall. You can't keep on inviting sin and expect not to be destroyed. Kabul has fallen, and it is a lesson for us all. Embrace Christ now. God bless you all.